Okay, let's continue then. Oh, okay. I was about to go to another color space, but there's one more thing that I want to mention here. So when you specify your colors, you specify RGBA. That A is alpha. So what is that alpha? And we saw that some people used it in their paint program. So alpha is for getting transparency. So if you render everything with alpha equals 1 or 255, you get pictures like this left-hand one. If we lower alpha, as it was done on this sphere, then we get something that's transparent. Um, if you search the web, you may see pictures that look like this, where you have this checkerboard in the background. This is meant to indicate transparency. So alpha is 0, right? So this is some color times the alpha, which is 1 on the middle of the person here. And then outside, this is meant to be cut so that when I paste it over something, this will just be transparent. It's going to be whatever is the background image. So this is alpha 0 in this region. And it's often just shown this way. You've probably seen green screening from movies and this kind of thing, same kind of idea, right? So the idea is this green area is where alpha is 0, and we can use a real green screen and do some math to try to basically say wherever we saw green, then we're going to treat that as a place where we're going to set alpha 0, and then we can do compositing. And there's whole tools, which is the job is to do compositing when I'm doing film editing kinds of things. So compositing is a one specialized area of computer graphics. Here's some pictures just to give some idea of what this is going to look like. So most of your paint programs, we had set alpha to 255, and this is drawn in the order of red, green, blue. So the last thing goes on top of the previous. We set alpha to 50%, then the idea is it's 50% transparent and we see things through to the back. So this is the idea with alpha. Now, I've just talked about it at a very high level, but there's a lot of different operators. So if you go set up your alpha, you can just set the alpha channel, which is what I'm assuming people did in their paint program so far. But there's also some parameters you can give to OpenGL. The destination is the background image that's already there. The source is the thing you're trying to put on top. And there's a bunch of different operators. Over is the most common operator. I think it's the default, but you can set any of these other different kinds of modes in the graphics for how do you want to do your pixel combinations. And for each of these, there's some math about how do you go figure it out, right? Because it's easy when you're going to cover a whole pixel, but when you sort of have a half pixel coverage, what's the right way to mix the colors? Exactly what is the new 50% color going to be, and what's going to be the alpha, right? If I drew a 50% red alpha pixel, and then I drew a 50% blue on top, what's that final value supposed to be? So, well, it was 50% red, but then I'm adding 50% blue. Now, does it go to 0.5 red and blue, or does it go to some other value? And what's the final alpha? Is it 0.5, 0.75, 1? What is it? Okay, you can check your Wikipedia or any other graphics textbook, and there's a bunch of formulas, right? So for over, it might look like this. And so we can do a bunch of different calculations using this alpha component, and it's frequently used in graphics. However, in this class, you're not going to need to use it. You can. We saw some people did in the paint program, but you don't need to use it or to do any of the assignments. But I want you to know what's there. Like, what is that last component?